I want to talk about my book because today is May 11th. My book is being published on May 14th by W. Norton and Company. My book is called Late Admissions, Confessions of a Black Conservative. It's available for pre-order now, and it'll be available for sale. And there's an audio book, which I read myself 3 days in a booth in New York City.
That is
going through 439 pages of, my book.
Nobody knows how hard that is. My hat's off to you. That's a lot.
It's an autobiography. It's a story of my life from being a kid in Chicago through MIT graduate school, through my early academic career, through my political machinations, through my various personal challenges and turmoils, through marriages and grandchildren and all the rest. So,
Glenn, have there been any reviews? I ask. Audience, of course, I know that there have been some.
I'm so glad you asked. So your colleague Pamela Paul has done a feature at the Times where she interviewed me. She came here to my home in Providence, Rhode Island. And, it's a good piece, I think. It's a very positive piece on the book and on me, warts and all. And there's been a review in the Wall Street Journal by Tunku Varadarajan, the staff writer there at the Wall Street Journal, who did a profile of me a couple of years ago for the Journal. And he's got a review, which is, I think, very positive and reveals a sensitive engagement with the book. And then there's a review in the Washington Post by a gentleman, John McMillan is his name. He's an academic at Georgia State University. He's a historian who's been writing about American political culture and the post 1960s era in his academic work. I don't know his credits beyond that, but the review gets the book. It gets what I'm trying to do in the book and appreciates it. And just thank you for allowing me this extended discussion of my book, John. To fix ideas here, what am I after in the book? I'm after engagement with the problem of self-regard, with the existential challenge of taking the measure of one's own life and trying to communicate that, which is what the book is. And the pitfalls of self-delusion and decide the games we play with ourselves, the cover stories, the rationalizations, the self-aggrandizement. And I enter into a cooperative relationship with the reader. I say, look, we got a problem here. I'm trying to tell you about my life. You're trying to know about my life. But I'm doing the telling. So, obviously I have an incentive to make myself look good. You know that. So obviously you're going to be looking with a scant eye at, how it is that I portray myself. And so we have a game here. And there are layers in that game. And in the telling of the story, I discover the games I've been playing with myself throughout my life, in my relationships, in my work, in my personal life, in my politics, the left and the right, who are my allies, who are my enemies, what do I really stand for? Who am I? In my racial identity, the effort to live up to ideals that I think other people have about me, the constant struggle to live in good faith. So that's the book.
And it's a great book. There should be a Black reviewer. The one thing that I'm noticing is that I'm not hearing that. And I think that would be an interesting additional perspective. I'm not talking about myself. I wouldn't be allowed. But, New Yorker, anybody, if the New Yorker's listening, you should put Vincent Cunningham on this. Or if he's not available, give it to Jelani Cobb. Atlantic, Hannah Georges. I would be interested in knowing what she thought of this one. To be honest, I don't think Ibram Kendi would be a good fit. But there is another. I'm blanking. There's a great guy Black writer that the Atlantic has been using lately. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I can't remember his name. But put Tyler Austin Harper on this, for example. Everybody who reviews it is not supposed to be not Black. So just saying that to the media sphere out there.
I accept that useful
I wonder
comment.
if some Black writers or reviewers are turning it down. Because what I'm just suggesting is not exactly a novel request. Why is nobody black? I'm guessing too far. I don't know.
Well, we're early on. I mean, these organs presumably will engage the book in one way or another, and we'll find out whether or not they have a black person to do it. I'm not privy to who all is being assigned.
Get Michael Eric Dyson, please, or Gerald Early, or someone like
Gerald.
that.
I'd love to know. I'd love for Gerald to read this book.
Yeah,
I have great respect for Gerald Early.
Yeah, he's the real deal.